You are a change maker that is passionate about changing the world. How do change makers create long lasting, sustainable change without completely sacrificing their lives and themselves? By prioritizing yourself so that you can continue to power your mission. Welcome to Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers. I am your host, Michelle Vande Hey, and today message is just because the work never ends doesn't mean you don't get to. As most messages that come to me, this message came to me on a walk 20 minutes ago before I recorded this. It's such a powerful message because something that I often hear from, especially those of you that are working in nonprofit and doing mission driven work, oftentimes say the work never ends. It's going to always be there. And yes, it would be great if this isn't an issue anymore, but it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So the work never ends. And that feels heavy. It feels difficult and it feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Think about it. Homelessness, that work is never ending. Cancer, that work is never ending. Racism, that work is never ending. Climate change, grief, death, that work is never ending. Adoption, foster care, that work is never ending. That doesn't mean that you have to work never ending. So here's the message for today is it's really about a mindset shift. This shift from the work is never ending. When we think about it in that way, it feels heavy, right? That's part of the reason why you're overwhelmed. That's part of the reason why you're exhausted is because you continue to hear story after story, more and more people needing your help, and that the need continues to grow. And you're like, I don't know where the money's going to come from to support this need. So that can feel heavy. So shifting from this mindset of, the work is never ending and into this work is never ending. So this one email, this one social media post, that one meeting, it can wait because this work is never ending. And sending it now, doing it now is not going to change the world. I can come back to it later. And shifting your mindset and the feeling around the fact that the work that you're doing is never ending can help to relieve some of that stress and relieve some of the guilt of when you walk away. I'm not saying walk away for good because that's part of my mission is to help you to not feel like you need to walk away for good because you can't do it anymore. I want you to be able to continue to power your mission. I want you to continue to create the impact and make the changes that you're making. So you've got to be able to shift your mindset of me walking away isn't going to stop this right now. It's okay for me to walk away for a moment, for a vacation, for rest, for whatever that is. It's okay because it's still going to be here when I get back. And me doing that one extra thing isn't going to change that right now. And I think about it in the compound effect. So many of us have heard the story of, would you rather have a penny doubled for 30 days or $1 million today? If you haven't heard this story, just Google compound effect, penny doubled for a month, and listen to this story. As the story goes, a penny doubled for 30 days ends up being much more than $1 million. I should have looked it up. And the interesting thing about the compound effect is that the first day you get 1 penny. Then the second day you get 2 pennies, which makes 3 cents. Then the second day you get 4 pennies, which makes 7 cents. And I'm not that great at math, so I'm not going to keep going. But even after a week of the penny doubling every day, you end up with like a couple bucks. And so it just seems like it's not worth it. And as the story goes, and if you look this story up, it's like 20 days goes by and you still have a pretty insignificant amount of money. But it's not until close to the end of that 30 days that all of a sudden that compound effect really shows up and all of a sudden you end up with way more than $1 million. And so I want you to think about that when you think about your mission and the work that's never ending, is that you pausing or you stopping for a moment, even you being gone for a week, isn't going to make that big of a difference with your mission. It's going to make a bigger difference on the other side of your well being. And that's the other side of this coin. It feels like I need to keep doubling because if I'm not doubling, then I'm not making impact. But the nice thing is if you've been doubling your penny every day, let's just keep going with this. You've been doubling your penny every day for the last 6 months, 1 year, whatever that is for you, years and years and years. The compound effect is already in effect. And so when you step away and then you come back, the compound effect helps to keep the momentum going. The momentum is going to slow down a little bit for you, but the momentum is going to keep going even when you step away. So that's the beauty number one of this compound effect. Beauty number two is that on the other side of this is you neglecting yourself, of you sacrificing yourself for your mission, you putting yourself last all the time. That also has a compound effect. So you may feel like, it's okay for me to skip my walk. It's okay for me to skip this. And yes, that's going to happen here and there. It's okay for me to skip movement. It's okay for me to skip rest. It's okay for me to skip food. It's okay for me to skip mindfulness. It's okay for me to skip this because I'm not in as bad of a place as the people that I'm helping. But that compound effect adds up. And that's how compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma, and burnout works. It's the compound effect on the other side. And so when you're compounding, neglecting your own needs, that's when you burn out. That's when you have compassion fatigue. That's when you have vicarious trauma. And that's when you need to walk away for good, oftentimes, from your mission, the change and the impact that you want to make. And then the impact stops. So what makes more sense? Can you make this mindset shift of I need the compound effect to work in my favor for my well-being so that I can continue to make the compound effect work for my mission? And the beautiful thing is that if you have some sort of team for your mission, even if it's you and one other person, I personally have a VA that helps me. And she works a couple hours a week, sometimes 5 hours a week. That is compound effect. And because we're both working on the same mission, that allows us to both work on the compound effect of taking care of ourselves. Because taking care of yourself, yes, having a coach and a mentor and, a nutritionist or, a doctor or a yoga instructor, whatever that is for you, that is your personal team, but it's up to you to do it for yourself. And no one else can really do that for you to create that compound effect for yourself. But for your mission, there is that compound effect. And think about all of the other organizations that maybe do similar work as you, trusting that the compound effect is working and that it's not all on your shoulders. That even though your work is never ending, it's not on your shoulders completely. And because it's you and even one other person doing it, that's that compound effect. You don't need to be $1 million today. What we need is the little things and you to partner up with one other person doing that. Even if they're doing less or they have less time to commit to it, that is still compounding and that's helping your mission to grow and flourish so you can step away and continue to grow and flourish in your own life. And that's how you create long-lasting, sustainable change without it falling all on your shoulders. But you have to make this mindset shift that it's not all on your shoulders, even if you are the main person or the only person working specifically on your mission in your organization. I guarantee that there is someone else out there, there is another organization out there doing similar work that is also creating this compound effect for you, even if you're not noticing it and even if you're not aware of it right now. What are you taking away from this message? Are you able to make this mindset shift that yes, this work is never done, but it's also okay for me to say this email, I can get to it in an hour. That meeting I can reschedule for next week. That event I don't need to go to, I can go to the next one. Are you able to make that shift so that you can take care of yourself and make the compounding effect work both for you and your mission? And that you're doing it together. And when they're both happening alongside each other, it's better for both of you. It's better for your mission when you can step away and take care of yourself on a regular, consistent basis, not just when you're sick, not just when you're so completely exhausted you can't get out of bed, not just when you have an injury or an illness. That's not when you need to step away and take a break. You need to do it before so those things aren't happening. Or if they are, they're less severe or less frequent. If you're not already a part of Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers, you are welcome to join the Facebook group. It is in the show notes, or you can look it up on Facebook and join the community and join the conversation. You're also welcome to send me an email or connect with me on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and send me a DM of your biggest takeaway or what came up for you that maybe you don't agree with, or that maybe is a big challenge for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're welcome to like and subscribe so that you are notified every time a new video comes out every single week, sending you light and love. And always remember that you are worth it.